Hi, I'm Chris from airwindows, and for those of you who practice Christmas, here's your Christmas present, Console 5. I've just made this little recording, and it is a zillion different voices going la like this. Hold that thought. If you have all those things selected, what you can do is turn on and off an entire bank of plugins. So I can A/B this original thing, which is a digital mix, with, say, the Console4 version of it. And that'll sound kind of like this. That's what I started the Patreon era of airwindows with, was Console4. Now, that's all very good. Here, I'll do it and then I'll shut it off in the middle of the... Goes kind of flat. Check this out. Console5. I'll just let you hear that again. And now I'll turn it off as it starts to get going, so you can hear what it sounds like when we switch away from Console5 to just plain digital mixing again. This is one of the good ones. Console is the plugin I've been doing for some time now. And what it does is saturates and distorts things on the individual channels only to undistort them again on the bus. And the full version of Console has always made an effort to get a sound, get like an analog style sound with maybe some saturation, with some darkening, sounding like a big mix. Now I'm going to play this again, and then the second time I will kick Console5 in, listen to what's happening with the low mids and the body of the sound, because it just all comes into focus. It sounds solid, it sounds like real people there, and not to be talking about anything else that might be floating around here waiting to be demonstrated, but this version brings a lot of extra beef and solidity. And here it is after an initial demonstration with just digital mixing only. That's just the digital. Now, you must forgive me for the terrible singing. I'm not a singer. I wouldn't be doing a Patreon of being a singer. But Console5 is for you, and this should work on anything. It's not only going to just work on voices, that just happens to be the way that I decided to demonstrate it, and I think that is a good thing. We maybe could even get a little frisky here, and let's do it in mono, because one of the things, and this may or may not work, but there, everything is in mono now. If this does work, it'll be pretty cool. One of the things about mixing in mono is that the depth and spatiality of everything is going to make a lot more of a difference. So, here is the raw one. And here, another country is heard from. That is Beefy. I'm glad I still have her around. It's a very old kitty and wants a lot of attention. That's one of the things about something like Console. It's not just about changing the tone. It's about changing the depth of the presentation. It's about changing the space inside the mix. And Console5 is doing a real good job of bringing some fullness, the way things combine, have this body and solidity to them that you don't necessarily get off of just a digital mix. And to demonstrate that, I will switch back and forth a little bit while playing this, and you can hear it for yourself. Firstly, we'll turn it off. On. Off. On. Off. On. That's mono. So I think I'm making my point. Console5 would be $50. Other versions of Console have been, except for now that I'm working with Patreon, and Patreon's been good to me so far. And even the changes that they were going to do weren't actually going to be hurting me, so it's still an appropriate choice for me. Console5, for I think many people, will be free. It is a audio unit and VST plugin. VST is for Mac and PC. I'm still working on getting, maybe I'll end up having to hit the open source thing before I can get somebody to get the Linux thing working, because me and my brother have had no luck with it. But if you support the Patreon, for a while there I wanted people just to have large numbers of people all pledging $1, but we've learned from Patreon's behaviors and decisions that's not necessarily a great idea. It might be a better idea for people to behave as if my plugins could be sold the way they used to, which is $50 a pop. And what I would say is this. I've put out like 50 plugins over the last year. A bunch of them have been really good. All of them are accessible to you. So please join the Patreon that I'm doing, because it's as good a payment processor as any. At, say, if there was one that you absolutely can't do without, then please join the Patreon for $50 a year. It'll show you what you'd have to pledge per month to do that, and I calculated it out so that you can know exactly how much you will be charged. It might be different. Well, remains to be seen how they handle all that, but I will communicate what adds up to $50 in the course of the year, all fees and things included, because that's just how I want to do it. If there's 2 plugins, and that doesn't count the 2 plugins that make up Console5, because that's always counted as the one, then please join the Patreon for $100, and so on and so forth. If you are in the 3, 4, or 5 plugin club and getting really enthusiastic about throwing money my way so that I can keep doing this work, because I intend to keep doing this work, then at those pledge levels, I will stick your name and a link up onto the airwindows site if you want. You don't have to, but if you want. It might do you some good if you have a musical project. I'd ideally like to see people's musical projects. To have a link saying, go and listen to this music here because this person is really helping airwindows do its thing. It might get you a few extra heads, who knows. And if you're doing 5 plugins a year, which totals getting charged $250 a year, heck, I'll put your name on these videos. So we'll see. I wasn't originally doing that patronage kind of thing, or that not patronage, what am I thinking of? Sponsorship kind of thing. But with the learning how sketchy the $1 pledge level really is, it's like I need to be able to offer something else to people and encourage people who are able to support me more seriously. And, I can't give you special copies of the plugins because the plugins go to everybody. That's not negotiable. Everybody gets everything that I do, plugin-wise, free without restriction. So I got to do things like put your name on my website if I want to give you something special. And, if you're helping me do this, I really do want to give you something special. So for now, what I can give you special is a little bit like this. Have a nice day. Happy mixing. And thank you for following my work and using my stuff. I've been Chris from Airwindows, and I will talk to you later because I have something else to give you next week. Thanks.